back on the little backcountry headwater stream today. Not an easy spot to get in, a tight little spot, real bush bashing to get in there. I had a look on Google Maps and tried to work out how I'd get in there. It's taken me a couple of hours just bashing through the bush down a bit of a steep gully to get in there. So I don't think it gets fished very often. So going to have a go today. This place too seems to be a real stronghold for the blue ducks. There seems to be a lot of them here, which is really cool to see. So a lot of the pools trout will be sharing with the blue ducks. So going to charge into it. It's really late in the season, so starting to cool off. It's clear water, so I can hopefully spot fish. There's not much light around today, so it could be difficult to see into the water with just depending on the angle and the backdrop. If you've got a good backdrop behind the pools, it does make it easier to see. If you haven't, then it's you're looking into the reflections from the sky, you get a lot of glare, so it can make it really hard to spot fish on a day like today. So let's crack into it, see how we go, stay tuned. Right, I've spotted a fish in here. I think I might have actually spooked it though, because I just crept up here and I saw him come down and turn upstream. I think he might have got a glance at me, and then he actually accelerated upstream a little bit faster than was what I thought he'd naturally do. But anyway, let's have a go. Let's see if we can. Well, I can't see him now unless he's under that foam line or something, so I'm assuming that he's probably gone doggo, just hiding out for a while, but give it a go anyway. I see some fresh footprints on the side here, so once again that can make it pretty hard. If someone's fished recently, that will make it very hard. I just don't know whether they could be hunters' footprints, it could be fishermen, but yeah, I don't know. Probably. Oh, I see the fish. I see him. I can see that fish. He's just over by on the bottom, over by the rock over there, so probably the right line. I'm going to take it. Pretty still. Pretty still. Seen a few flies maybe this season. Pretty wise. Been very quiet on the bottom there. I can't see him now. I think he's moved out under the foam line, or he's spooked. Well, amazingly, I've just gone down to the next pool, and I've seen a rainbow took two insects off the surface. So feeding on the surface. It's getting into May now, so it's getting into winter. Well, what are we? Still autumn. December, January, February, March, April, May. We're still autumn, but late autumn, very late. So it's pretty late to seeing surface activity, and especially the fish on the surface. So that's pretty cool to see. So I was just changing my rig around and tying on a little parachute Adams and we'll see if we can get this fish to come up to the surface. The only problem is there's a lot of glare on the water up here, so I probably be blind fishing to the fish, which is not the way I like to do it. I like to be able to see the fish, watch it come up and take the fly if it's going to take the fly. But so anyway, give it a go. Well, I couldn't get that fish to come up and take the fly, but the problem is really that because of the pretty soft dim light today, with not much sunlight, direct sunlight anyway. Pretty hard to see into the water, so I couldn't spot the fish, and I couldn't keep an eye on where the fish was and watch its movements and that, which you really need to be able to do, especially late in the season when they've probably seen a fair few fishermen, so they're probably a little bit spooky. So your presentation is absolutely key. And getting that first presentation right is your best chance. So you really got to be able to see the fish. It really helps. Just spotted a fish down in here. It's just behind that, just under the foam line. There's a rock that sticks out sort of about halfway down the riffle on the right hand side. He's just behind that rock and the riffle there. So just going to try and put a little nymph past him with a dry fly with a nymph dropper, and see if we can get him to come up and take. Fish just over that other side. There's a rock, big rock, sticking out of the water right on the bank over the other side, and the fish is about a metre this side of the rock, just sitting on the edge of the light coloured sandy bottom, and where the rocky bottom starts. Hopefully you can just see the fins there. I'm going to stay up here and try and get a cast to the fish. That's going to be difficult though, actually. So I've got no back casting room, so I'm going to try sneaking down without spooking them. Always a hard thing to do from up here. So far so good. I haven't spooked a fish. That's not to say he hasn't seen that. Sometimes it kind of looks like a brownie, but I'm not sure if it is or not. Sometimes with these brownies, they do actually spot you, but they don't panic. They just still there. Perfect cast. Will he take it? No. Oh, damn. Shit, that must have been right by his nose. Not an easy place to get a cast to a fish either. Yeah, that's perfect. He's coming. Oh, he hasn't taken it. Spooked. Oh. Nice looking bit of water. There's a couple of blue ducks up in the head of it. Whether that affects whether the trout inhabit these sort of places or not, I don't know, but I can't see any fish at the moment. Could be more up in the head, I'm thinking. Try and get a cast up there before I disturb the bottom.
I've just stopped here because I spotted a fish down in here. I'm going to just try and capture some footage of the fish. It's where it's lying. I think it's feeding. Hopefully I can get in there and just poke the camera over and just show you some footage of this fish before I fish to him, before I probably spook it. This is fish number 5 that I've spotted. All the fish I've fished to spotted so far I haven't been able to hook. I've given some pretty good delicate sort of presentations to them to try not to spook them. But yeah, I've had no luck at all. So yeah, it's been pretty tough. Hopefully I can entice this one, but we'll see about that. So I'm just going to poke over here, poke the camera over, and hopefully we can get some footage of this fish. Looks a nice fish. There's a rock on the far side with some green moss on it and a sort of a rectangular or elliptical white mossy patch on the rock. And the fish is lying, I just took something then, he's lying about a metre this side of the rock under the riffle line. It's just sort of right down in, just in there, I think. Hoping to be able to get a cast of this fish and get him to take the fly. It's been a bit of a tough day really trying to hook fish, but at least it's good numbers of fish in here and managed to spot and just to spot fish. It's been, the day has been, it's all overcast and so there's not very good light. It's not bad where you're up against the bank like that so you don't get the glare so much and you can actually spot the fish. Other than that though, it's been a little bit difficult to spot fish and just to watch them as you cast them. A lot of the fish I've had to blind fish to, which is really tough. In this sort of water you want to be able to see what the fish is doing and watch its reaction and hopefully see it take the fly. If you can't see it, it's just pretty tough to know when it's actually taking the fly, and that can result quite often in them spitting the fly fairly quickly and you're not even knowing, I suppose, that you've taken it. So I'm just going to try and get in behind this fish and have a go. I might even have a go from here, actually just casting a nymph so I can actually see the fish, probably a better way of doing it. Well, as soon as it saw the nymph, that fish spooked almost straight away. As soon as it saw the gold bead, I'm going to have to go for something really natural, I think. Okay, well, I just saw a fish down in here rise and it's going to be bloody difficult to get past. So I'm going to try casting to it from upstream. Never actually done this before with a dry fly. Shite. Bloody hell. Decided I need to be able to see this fish, so I'm just going to sneak around here. It's a very difficult way of approaching the pool because I'm liable to, highly likely to spook a fish if it's in there. This is it, because I'm coming quite close to the pool from an upstream angle. Fish facing upstream, so pretty difficult. I can't see fish in the head of it, so that's good actually, because it will give me a chance to get in position. comes up fish. You can see him. See the fish, really difficult to pick up, but it's right down on the bottom, just coming upstream, actually just on the under the foam line there. Really good fish just coming up. That's pretty cool to see actually. So yeah, I've had a good day down here. I've spotted a lot of fish. I've cast to probably 5 or 6 spotted fish. Every fish, I've got a couple of casts to them before they've just spooked. They seem to be very wary, and even going really light with really small nymphs, even just a small parachute Adams dry fly, I tried to start with on some of them. They're pretty wary, so yeah, I haven't been able to entice any of them to take. But it's pretty cool coming to a spot like this where you can actually spot fish, and there seems to be reasonable numbers as well, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So it's probably a good spot to come back to, maybe in a warmer time of the year when the fish are maybe looking up for dries on the surface, which would be pretty cool. So it's been a good day, another wild adventure into a little headwater stream. Really difficult place to get to, so you know, I don't think it gets much pressure, or many people actually know about it. Really hard, tight little place to get into, tight bush, just really quite remote. So, but a cool place to come if you know about it, and if you know how to get in there. So I've been a little bit slow getting videos up lately. I've been quite busy doing other stuff, so I haven't managed to get a video up every weekend like I'm aiming to do, but hopefully now I've got a little bit more time on my hands, I can catch up on that and start getting some more vlogs back up. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video today. Interesting spot to come here. Actually, it's a bit of one of the real strongholds for the blue duck, which is quite a rare species of native bird in New Zealand. So you can hear them behind the Feo, I think you say. Yeah, there's a lot of them in here, which is really encouraging to see. They're quite rare, and I think they're probably on the, or either close to it, or on the endangered list of native bird species in New Zealand, so it's cool to see them. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video today. Please like and subscribe, and more content coming up soon. So we'll catch you next time for a wild trout adventure. Cheers, catch ya.
most of the way back here, and I spotted a fish feeding away. Hopefully, oh, he just took something there. Cool to see. Looks like a big fish. So last chance to catch something today, and it's right on station. So hopefully it's not too spooky. So let's give it a go. Really cool to see. It just drifted down with the fly, nearly right back to where I was. And when I cast again, just a little bit heavy-handed, and I spooked it. Spooked again, spooked. That's the story of today. Spooked. Every fish. Whew, hard work.